right guys, I'm Brian from 704 Tactical and we're here at Blackstone Shooting Sports today to try out two really awesome guns that I haven't had a chance to shoot yet on my channel. I'm going to be running some of the first rounds through them that I've ever fired, kind of compare and contrast the two of them and see if one is actually worth 8 times more than the first one. But let's head in there, take some shots and see what we got going on. Huge shout out to Blackstone for letting me come and film. Let's go. A lot smoother than I thought, and the comp does a lot. I shot one of the original Caniks and the comp definitely makes a big difference. So far I'm liking it. The magwell's really nice, insert's good, drops free, like the slide release. This is pretty cool. It's the first time actually ever shooting one of the TTI Caniks, so pretty impressed so far. This is a lot flatter shooting, definitely a nicer trigger. It is so buttery smooth. The recoil impulse is like non-existent, straight back into your hand. I can see why this one's a little bit more pricey. So we are back from the range and we're sitting down at the table to take a closer look at both of these handguns. Now, right off the bat, I've never fired either one of these before, so it was really cool that Blackstone let me come out and try some of this stuff. This, to be honest, is going to be more of my speed when it comes to price point and budget, but it's nice to compare it with something that is truly top tier and premium to get a good perspective on value, whether you're going at an entry-level competition pistol or you've got all of the money in the world to spend and you're going to drop right around $8,500 on something like the Sand Viper. When I picked this guy up, I noticed it's got the same basic ergonomics as all the other Caniks that I've fired. The slide release works really well, the slide is super smooth, and the fiber sights are right there. You also have that optics plate mounting system that you can swap out whatever optic you need, and I've got a lot of time behind Caniks, probably a few thousand rounds behind the ones I've got at home, and this one feels very similar. You start getting the subtle upgrades like the magwell, the extended mag release, and the overall kind of feel with the comp when you're shooting. You do have some ports, and not ports, but cuts in the slide itself, allowing it for that weight reduction. You don't really notice that too much, but it is nice when you're adding an optic to have some weight reduction in the slide so the balance stays pretty smooth. When you are down at the range and you're firing, the first thing you'll notice when shooting is that comp does its job. There is a noticeable difference between the standard Caniks and the comped Canik with this TTI that Taran Tactical has done. Overall, I'm really pleased with this setup and it shot great at the range. I could definitely tell that the trigger on this guy was a super smooth take-up and a really crisp and light break, decent audible and tactile reset. I love this gun and I honestly think it's worth the price point. Although you are competing with itself here with other Caniks coming in at about half the price, so you have to figure is the flared magwell and the comp and some of those added accessories like the nicer trigger worth it for you. Moving along to this guy though, the Sand Viper. This one shot so much different and it's hard to explain on camera how well this shot. It's almost like you have to come pick one up for yourself and shoot it. Now, this is also very ergonomic. There's not a ton of hot spots on the handgun and the slide is buttery smooth. The trigger on this has a smooth direct back pull take up. You have a nice crisp break and try to show that on camera a little bit more. But that trigger is just insane for what it is. Probably one of the nicest triggers I've ever fired on a 1911, but it better be for the price point. This is about 8 times more than the Canik itself, and we are talking about 8 times more than the premium Canik. The world is full right now of double stack 1911s that come in at high value prices, so it is refreshing to shoot one this nice, but it's also a little bit scary when you hear the price tag. But overall, this one functioned great down at the range. The recoil impulse was even more minimal than the Canik. It held on target great, and I probably fired the fastest split times I've ever fired with the 1911 today, even with just a few mags warming up. It was a very natural gun to shoot. It was a very comfortable gun to shoot, and the reloads were simple. Comes with a ton of mags, comes with this really cool case, and like I said earlier, it better for the price. The only issue we actually had today when firing was the Taran Tactical Sand Viper. 2 of the mags we had didn't want to lock back after the last round, but this one did. But other than that, it functioned great. And when you are talking about that premium, custom tuned, double stack 2011, a lot of times they will be a little bit more ammo specific or ammo sensitive, and this one really ran that standard bulk pack ammo just fine without any functional issues other than those 2 mags, which I'm kind of isolating to the mags. But man, these pistols were really awesome. I like firing them here at Blackstone. So again, I'm Brian from 704 Tactical. I've been running my channel for about 8 years now, and I love coming up to Blackstone to try out a wide variety of firearms. It's always cool to get your hands on things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to shoot otherwise before you make your purchase. So a huge shout out to Blackstone for letting me come out. Love hanging out with these guys, and I really love trying both of these guns. Again, sub my channel, sub their channel. These guys are growing their platform, and they've got a lot of good stuff to come. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.